Hello everyone and welcome to a new reading vlog. This is going to be a long-running reading vlog because I have a lot of books to read and they are all dark academia books. I wanted to dive into dark academia books because it always reminds me of fall in the first place, and autumn is finally here, so why not read a ton of dark academia books, which I will then rank from my least favorite to my favorite. If you do not know what dark academia books are, I'm going to give you a definition that I found off of Google. So someone on Google said that dark academia books have an academic setting and features characters exploring darker urges, navigating crimes or dark secrets, or exploring dark speculative elements. Dark academia to me is a book set in an academy, whether it be a university or a boarding school, and it follows a close-knit group of people and they have a ton of secrets to hide, and slowly those secrets unfurl and usually a crime happens which causes the overall mystery of the book. I am halfway through my first book, as The True Ones by Kate Weinberg, and this is a book set in the UK. It follows a girl named Jess who applied to this one university in a really coastal, really gloomy town simply because this one professor teaches at this university. And the professor's name is Dr. Lorna Clay, and the main character Jess is really interested and fascinated by this professor and what she has to teach. So she attends this university, and while Jess is there, she befriends three people. One is Alec. He is a South African journalist with a lot of secrets and intrigue that really pulls Jess in. Then we have Georgie, who is Jess's roommate, and they become close friends with each other. And then we have Nick. He is a geologist, and these characters grow really close together as they bond while they are in university. While they're all in different stages of university, they all grow really close together. I know this library labels it as a suspense novel, but so far it's not suspenseful. It just feels like it's building and building and there's a lot of tension brewing. And Jess has made some really questionable decisions, which I really enjoy because it's a dark academia book. These characters are not perfect. They are constantly making mistakes. I'm really enjoying it. The prose is beautiful. It's very slow moving. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't enjoy this book because it is slow moving, but I really enjoy it. I really enjoy just taking my time with a book and not rushing to find out the ending. I actually don't know how long this vlog is going to be because I am going to be reading 5 books, and I'm not going to force myself to read 1 book a day to try and make this into a weekly vlog. So I think this is going to take place over a long course of time. I'm very excited to read so many dark academia books to really get me into the fall mood and to just read one of my favorite tropes of all time. And these are books that I haven't heard a lot of buzz about, so I'm really excited to read them. And I got a lot of those recommendations over on Twitter when I tweeted out asking for dark academia recommendations. So if you gave me a recommendation and I read it in this vlog, thank you so much for your recommendation. But I am going to go downstairs now and read The True Ones? I feel like I'm saying this wrong. I feel like I should Google how to say this. Truant. Okay, I was saying it wrong, so I'm going to go downstairs and read The Truants. Is that how you say it? Oh my god. Truants. I am 200 pages into The Truants? I forgot how to say it. I am just in shock of all the things that are happening. So much messiness between these characters. Their lives are really interconnecting and things are happening. I have 100 pages left and I honestly have no idea how this book is going to end. But Jess is finally getting closer to her Professor Lorna, and things are just getting wild, and the characters that you knew were like off and weird turns out to be really weird, so I don't know what's gonna happen next. This doesn't feel dark academia-y compared to other dark academias that I've read. This is much more centered around people who happen to go to the same school, who are friends with each other, and it doesn't really focus on the university setting. Yes, the main character is obsessed with this one professor, but I feel like that's the only dark academia aspect of it. I wish there was much more scenes set in the university, because it just feels like it just happens to be university students who are friends with each other, if that makes sense. You know, like, If We Were Villains by ML Rio is very much set in the university. This one just happens to be set in a university. Doesn't really give me the dark academia vibes that I want. I want more of it. But that's not to say that I'm not really enjoying myself and how messy these characters are and how gloomy of a setting this is. So I just finished some homework that I had to do. I had to submit an assignment. So now I'm either going to go on a walk with my parents, or I'm going to keep on reading my book, because I have 100 pages left and I really want to finish it. And I know that I won't finish it tomorrow because we are going to go apple picking in the morning, which is really exciting because I have been severely ill and I'm still trying to figure out what that is, but I've just been in severe, disgusting pain. It's been like the worst experience of my life physically, and we are still trying to figure out what it is. It might be a chronic illness, it might be something else. We truly have no idea. We're only in the start of all these tests that I have to take, but for the past month and a half, I have only seen doctors. It's a very lonely experience to be severely ill, and you don't really want to see anyone at your worst. So I have been dealing with that. So this is the first time I've been filming in a month and a half, but I just wanted to give you that update. I'm not going to talk about it any further because I don't know what it is, and I don't need some backseat doctors in the comments, so please refrain from doing that. Hello everyone! I am going to try and finish The Truants. I have 100 pages left exactly in the book, and so many things are happening. I don't know what to expect for the last 100 pages, but I really hope it ends off strongly so I can end up liking the book overall, because I've been really enjoying the writing and the slow pace of it. Today I am home alone, and if you were wondering about my physical symptoms, I'm feeling so much better than I did last month, where I barely left my couch. I feel significantly better, and today I'm just going to take a very slow day to relax, and I don't have any homework to do, so I'm just going to read and drink my decaf coffee and enjoy the cozy weather, because it's finally cold enough where I can wear a sweater indoors. So I am wearing a university sweater. I didn't go here, but I like the little paw from Clemson, so that's why I got this sweatshirt. So I'm wearing that with leggings, and it gives me like cozy dark academia vibes, because like your dark academia characters are not wearing plaid skirts every single day. They have to be cozy at some point, so this is my cozy outfit. So now I'm just going to read The Truants, and I will let you know what I think when I finish it. I have 50 pages left, and something happened, and there was a reveal, and I've guessed it from the beginning, and I can't believe that I was right. I'm in shock. I'm both like, haha, I'm right, but also like, oh my god. Like, I thought that this story was veering off on a really weird path, and it was kind of getting a little bit laggy, but now that this reveal happened, I don't know what's going to happen next. I finished The Truants, and it was such a time. I had so much fun with it. It was very slow moving, but I personally really enjoy slow moving and slightly boring novels. It was very introspective and atmospheric, and I really enjoyed seeing Jess just completely get infatuated by these black-hearted people who were no good for her and really manipulated her and really turned her world upside down. And I thought that descent into like madness was fascinating, and all the twists and turns and all the secrets that were revealed were so well done. While I did guess them, I was still completely shocked when those reveals happened because I didn't think that would actually happen because they were so grand. I had a lot of fun with the Truants. I'm not going to rank this because this is my first book that I read in this Dark Academia series so far. So far this is gonna be like number one, I guess, in the rating because I don't have any other book to compare it to so far. But now I'm going to move on to my second read, and it is Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. I have no idea what this book is about. I kind of just picked this one up because I heard a lot of people recommending me this book. Hello, hi! I just finished taking an Instagram photo, so that's why I'm wearing this flower crown. And I thought, why not wear it for this clip? It looks cute. So I am officially halfway through this book. I am on page 150 out of 300 something. And it's a very disjointed, very slow-moving Dark Academia that I'm really slugging along through because I feel like I don't really know the main character that much. And I wish I knew more about her motives, and I wish I knew more about her feelings because I feel very disconnected from her so far. But let me tell you what Catherine House is about because I never gave you a synopsis. Catherine House is an elite 3-year university where the people who attend it do not have to pay any tuition, but the trick is they are not allowed to bring any clothes. They cannot listen to music, they cannot watch TV, they cannot contact anyone outside of Catherine House, they cannot use any social media, etc. They are completely closed off from the outside world, and Catherine House becomes their world for the next 3 years. So our main character, Nez, is accepted into Catherine House, and she is immersed into this very dark and very cryptic world of this university that closes her off from the outside world, but she actually wants that to happen because she is running away from something in her past. And when tragedy strikes and Nez decides to take it upon herself to dig deeper into the secrets behind Catherine House and the things that are occurring behind closed doors that nobody outside of the university knows about. It took a while for me to get into it because it is so disjointed. Because this is told in vignettes, we get to see little pieces of Nez's experience in Catherine House, and I feel like we're very distanced from her narrative. I feel like we don't really connect with her so far, and I'm trying to form a connection with the protagonist and learn more about her past, but so far she's kind of like building walls between the world and the reader themselves. Now that I finished editing a video for this Sunday, and now that I finished taking my Instagram photos, I'm going to sit down and read more of Catherine House and see what happens next. So I finally finished my second Dark Academia book, Catherine House, and I gave this 2 stars on Goodreads, and I'm just gonna read you what I wrote on Goodreads because I feel like it explains my feelings, obviously. And I said, while the premise was intriguing, the book's disjointed and flat writing style wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't feel connected to any character who all felt very one-dimensional, nor did I necessarily root for them. It just felt like there was little build-up and little payoff in the end. So while it did utilize vignettes, which I think is a really cool tool for writing, it created this very disjointed type of read for me. I didn't feel like we knew anything about Catherine House or the main character. There was little to no climax to the story. It just felt like we were living in Catherine House and nothing really happened from there. I wished it was a bigger mystery and a little bit more action into the book. In order to really interest me, I just felt very disconnected from the story overall, which made me really sad. But I did really enjoy the dark academia setting. Catherine House had more of a dark academia setting than the Truants, but I did enjoy the Truants more because I felt like there was much more substance to those characters and to the plot line than Catherine House, where I didn't feel connected to the main character and I didn't feel connected to the plot line. So the next dark academia book that I'm going to start is The Furies by Katie Lowe. I have no idea what this book is about, along with all these other books that I've taken out from the library. People just have recommended this book to me when I asked for dark academia recommendations, and I think this follows like a group of girls who are in a cult. I could be wrong. So I DNF'd one of the books and it was The Furies. I was about 100 pages into the book and I just was not a fan of the writing style or the direction that the book was going in because it was going into like a witchy territory and I really don't care about witches or reading about witches. That's just like one of the things that does not interest me in the slightest, and I wasn't invested in the story. It took me a while to read like 2 pages. I just kept on skimming it and was not enjoying it. So my friends were like, just DNF it. Life is too short to be reading books that you don't care about. So I DNF'd The Furies, which is going to be number 5 on this ratings list because clearly I didn't finish it. And I'm going to be moving on to my 4th dark academia read. And that book is Vita Nostra. And this is a book that is translated from Russian. This is about a girl who gets sent to this mysterious institute where things aren't quite what they seem, which is like the beginning to every dark academia book that you could pick up. I've been recommended this book a lot and a couple people I've followed have talked about it as well. I don't think they've read it yet, but they've added it to their TBR, so I decided to take the plunge and read it. This is my biggest dark academia book on my list, so hopefully I can finish it soon and I enjoy it more than I did The Furies. I am finally almost done with Vita Nostra, and it's taken me a while to get through because it is such a lyrical novel and it is taking a lot of my attention in order to go through. But this dark academia set in Russia follows a girl named Sasha, and she is on vacation with her mother when she starts to be followed by a very mysterious man who gives her very specific tasks that she must complete, otherwise bad things will happen. So she completes these tasks and finally he tells her that she has to go to an elite yet very unknown academy in the middle of nowhere, otherwise bad things will continue to happen. So fearing for her mother's life, Sasha decides to go to this university where she has to read very weird texts that don't seem to make sense. She has to do very weird tests that don't seem to make sense. And as she is going through this university, she is transforming into this person that the university wants her to be. This is a very beautifully written yet very dense novel. I do enjoy lyrical novels. It reminds me of The Shadow of the Wind in the way that it's very lushly written, but I do have to say it's very long-winded. It's 400 pages and I feel like a decent 150 pages could have been cut out because it's just kind of dragging out now, but I am very much enjoying it. I really enjoy the trip that it is taking me on. It is dark, it is weird, it is beautifully written, and I am almost done with it. I have about 70 pages left and I think it's due back at my library tomorrow, so I'm hoping to finish those 70 pages tonight or tomorrow morning so I can drop this back off at the library. I am enjoying this much more than The Furies, which I DNF'd, and I'm enjoying it much more than Catherine House. It kind of has the same vibe as Catherine House in terms of the weirdness of it, where the students don't really know what they're getting into and their lives are being transformed by the professors and the academy itself. I feel like this one's a much stronger type of novel because I am very connected to Sasha and her motivations, and I am very interested in all these side characters as well. So I cannot wait to find out what's going to happen in the last 70 pages because things are getting weird. Do I look like an 80s mom, or do I look like the principal in Matilda? But last night I finally finished Vita Nostra, and while I did enjoy the lyricalness of this novel and the atmosphere that it created and the concept of it, I do feel like the last 1/3 of this novel completely lost me. I feel like my brain just was not big enough to grasp the concept of this novel and like the magical element of this academy. So I decided to look up what the ending meant on Reddit. I feel like a lot of people had the same consensus in that they didn't really understand what the authors were trying to put across to us in terms of the magic system. It didn't really make sense. It could have been a translation issue. It might have made more sense if it was read in its original language, but I still enjoyed it in a way. I feel like I would give it like 3 stars. It was still an enjoyable read because the writing style was so beautiful and I loved how immersive it was. But I also just did not really enjoy the overall execution of it because I feel like it lost me in the last 1/3 of this novel. I felt like I was completely lost, and a lot of people on Reddit agreed as well. So do what you will with that info. Maybe you can pick this up and understand it more than I did. Maybe it just flew right over my head. I have no idea, but I finally finished Vita Nostra, and this was the longest book on my TBR for this video. And now I'm going to read my last dark academia novel, and it is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This has been recommended to me by so many friends who really enjoy this series. And this is a YA dark academia, which is about a girl who goes to a university. And this academy has a very notorious story where the head of the academy's wife and daughter were both kidnapped, and the mystery has been unsolved then forth. So Stevie Bell, the main character, goes to this academy in hopes of uncovering this mystery and figuring out what happened to the wife and the daughter of the head of this academy. And I am excited to get into this book. I really hope I enjoy it because so many people that I trust really enjoy this series, so I hope I am one of them as well. After many days, I finally finished Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. And while I did enjoy the premise of it, and I really liked the main character Stevie, who was interested in true crime and had anxiety that was portrayed in a way that was highly relatable to me, the plot left me a bit disappointed. It was a very slow-moving YA, and I feel like there weren't actual developments in this story. I feel like we were introduced to this mystery and Stevie did very little to actually solve the mystery, which is the reason why she goes to this academy. She's going to this really cool academy with a bunch of other students who have very niche interests, and her interest is true crime. And each student has a project to fulfill throughout the years that they're at the academy, and Stevie's project is to solve the mystery of the founder of the academy and how his wife and daughter disappeared and were killed. You would think that Stevie would spend most of her time trying to investigate that mystery, but she barely does. She barely even touches upon it. And instead we are introduced to a whole other mystery that overtakes the plot line. So I was really interested in the founder's wife and daughter who went missing, and I feel like that mystery was pushed to the side to put this new mystery forward. So while I did enjoy the premise of it, the plot left me very much let down. So this experiment was very interesting. I feel like while I do enjoy the concept of dark academia, I feel like a lot of authors start out their books in a certain way and really veer their plot lines in a completely different direction that leaves me a bit disappointed. Some may introduce a magic system that isn't quite fleshed out. Some may introduce some witchy and paranormal elements that I'm just really not a fan of reading about. And there are some stories that are just outright boring and don't really capture my attention. So let's get into the ranking of these 5 dark academia books that I have read throughout September and October and what I think about them. And let it be known that these rankings might not match your rankings if you were to read these 5 books. I just kind of realized that I'm very particular and very picky in the way that some dark academias are written, and I don't really enjoy magical elements and paranormal elements that are introduced into the plotline. I really like realistic dark academia, see The Secret History or If We Were Villains. I really like dark academias that are rooted in reality and don't have these magical elements that aren't really fleshed out and leave me a bit let down. Coming in at number 5 is probably no surprise, and it is The Furies. I did not even finish this book because I was not interested in the plotline and the writing style just wasn't something that was up my alley. I realized that they were introducing some really witchy elements, and as someone who is not interested in reading about witches in the slightest, I feel like they lost me right when that was introduced. Then at number 4, we have Catherine House. I really enjoyed the way that this was told in vignettes, and I really enjoyed the snarky main character, but I did feel incredibly distanced from the protagonist, and I felt like while the story was told in vignettes, it was very disjointed and there was no real climax or intrigue in this story. At number 3, we have Truly Devious with a very relatable main character that I really connected with. We have interesting and really diverse side characters, but we do have a slow plot with little development and a forced romance that really did not appeal to me at all, and I feel like it was just there to lighten the mood. Coming in at number 2 is Vita Nostra. This book had beautiful and lyrical writing that sucked me right in. There were really weird concepts that kind of went over my head at times and left me pretty much confused for most of the novel. The book did not need to be that long, and I feel like towards the last 1/3 of the novel, I was kind of lost in terms of the weird concepts that were introduced. But I feel like if you were a fan of fantasy and really weird elements in novels, I feel like Vita Nostra would be the book for you. Then we have my number 1 book from this whole entire vlog, and it was The Truants. Truants had beautiful introspective prose. It was full of secrets and lies and drama and really messy characters. I do have to admit that The Truants was the least dark academia-esque type of novel that I read out of these 5. While it was set in an academy, I feel like the academy itself wasn't really central to the plot, rather than a true dark academia novel, where the academy is kind of like a character in itself. It was a bit slow moving at times, but as someone who really enjoys slow moving novels that takes its time unraveling the plotline, I really enjoy the way that this story was paced compared to Vita Nostra, which had a much slower pace that could have been sped up. So here are my rankings for the 5 novels that I read in this reading vlog, and do not take my rankings as anything that is final. If you want to try out these books for yourself, I think they would be more up people's alleys for different tastes because they are so different. There are some with paranormal elements, there were some with magic systems, there are some that were much more rooted in reality, and I feel like all these novels can appeal to different audiences. If you have dark academia recommendations, please let me know. I would love to check them out because I do really enjoy dark academia settings. Let me know what other type of themed reading vlogs you would like to see from me, and I'll maybe do them in the future. If you have not subscribed to already, be sure to do so, and feel free to follow me at Instagram at Stories for Coffee. If you have made it this long in the video, comment a brown heart down below to match the dark academia type of aesthetic. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in another video. Bye!